Hi everybody, I am Husky Light. I hope everybody's really well. I'm making another video outside because the weather is just so gorgeous at the moment, and I wanted to give you a bit of a twin flame update on where we're at and what's going on with things at the moment. It's become very apparent. There's a lot of twins that are getting into union at the moment. There's a lot of twins though that are going into separation over the last I'd say the last 3 weeks. This has been happening. I went into separation with mine a week ago, since last Friday I think, and for those, and I know that there's a lot of others that have just gone into separation as well, so that is the energies that are happening for whichever stage we're at. And a lot of us have maybe even come into union and thought that was it and everything would be fine, and then we've been pushed into separation again, being pushed into not texting anymore, not emailing anymore, going silent, moving into silence with this. And it's the thing to do, and it's the right thing to do, and it's nothing to fear. It's a stage that we're going through in the twin flame journey, and it needs to happen. Where's my there? It needs to happen at the moment. It needs we need to do some inner work. If we didn't need to, for those of you who sit there and go, I've done healing and I've done all my inner work and everything's perfect and everything's wonderful, if that was the case, we'd be in union with them, end of. And we're not in union yet with them, so there is still things that we need to work on. The masculine are definitely going through a stage at the moment where they need to work on themselves. They are starting to wake up. There are signs of them waking up, but they're starting to question themselves. They're starting to question what's going on. They've got some inner work, stuff that they've not faced before, stuff that they've probably hidden, working on their addictions as well, things like drinking and smoking and things like that. There is coming that point now where they're really looking into things. Separation, I think the separation comes in from divine intervention as well, because I think I have crossed many boundaries with my twin flame over the past 3 years, and I have never been, we've never gone into separation like this before, but that is now happening. How do I put this? Can I just like rest it on my knee? Because it's a bit cumbersome. So they have to work on things, and we do as well. We need to take this as a blessing. We need to not be in fear of this. We need to get out of the fear of, oh my God, we're never going to see them again, we're never going to speak to them again. That's perfectly not true at all. We are. You have to have faith, and you have to believe in the universe totally, that this is part of the path. This is part of the twin flame path. Is something that we need to go through. Not everybody goes through it, but for most of us I think that does happen. If you are in this position, if you have been pushed into separation, because I really felt like it was divine intervention and we were pushed into it. I was pushed into it about a week ago. I've got to a place where I don't actually want to text. I don't want to get in touch with him at the moment, and I'm quite happy that he's not getting in touch with me either, and it happened over a really silly little thing, and there is always total forgiveness with me. There is always conditional love there as well, and I know that everything's happened for a really good reason, and it's to work on ourselves. Now, in the past week, because when it happened, I asked my guides, I asked the angels, I said, what's my next step? What do I do from here on in? How do I, what is it I still need to heal within? You need to ask yourself that question, what is still needing to happen? And I had 2 incidents this week which deal with boundaries, and that is part of my lesson. We are clearing and healing the last parts of what we need to do before we come into full union, however long that is going to take, but it's now time to step away from them, stop thinking about them so much, and to step into ourselves. and to work on ourselves, whatever needs working on. So I know personally, and it's going to be different for all of you, regardless of what they're having to work on, what the masculine is having to work on. It will all be different for all of you. For me personally, it's boundaries. I have to learn boundaries. I have to learn how to say no to people. I have to learn how to say, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm standing in my own power. I don't have time to do this for you today. I'm not going to sacrifice the things that I need to do in a day to do something for somebody else. I'm not going to be anyone else's beck and call as much as I have been in the past. I'm learning to stand in my own belief systems, my own power, in myself, and not be I can learn that it's okay to say no to other people, learn that it's a good thing to say no to other people, so that people don't take advantage, or people don't. And it's really come up for me this week. A really good friend of mine, it came up with her, and I ended up almost in an argument with her about it. And what had happened was my time was taken up with her. I ended up resenting her for a little while, and then realizing that what I was actually doing was resenting myself and mirroring it onto her. I was resenting myself for not having the courage and the conviction to say, no, I have things to do today, I can't help. I love you absolutely loads and loads, and I can do it another time, but I can't do it today. And I had to learn that. And by the way, we're fine. We're absolutely fine, because we had a talk. And but that was a test on my boundaries, and that came up to show me that my boundaries are pretty weak at times, and it's definitely something I need to learn on. And then the very next day, I went shopping in my hometown, and I went into a shop, and there was about 4 different tills. 2 of them had assistants behind them, and there was like really big queues. And I saw another assistant walking off to open another till, and I only had 1 item to buy. I spotted him walking to the new till, and I thought, yeah, he's opening up another till. So I walked to the till, and a woman behind me, and do you know, it was so orchestrated when I look back on it, because I've never seen anyone act like that ever. As I walked to the till, she was right up behind me, and she started shouting at this poor assistant, saying, don't you think if you're going to open a new till that you should tell everybody which till you are going to open, so nobody pushes in front that shouldn't be there? Looking at me, obviously. And I was like, oh, hang on. And I hadn't pushed in front of her. I just spotted the keeper, the assistant, and thought, oh, cool. So I just turned round to her and I said, look, I said, I've only got 1 thing. I said, would you like to go in front of me? Is that okay? And she went, no, I've only got a couple of things. She said, that's not the point. And literally, as I was trying to pay for my purchase, she was throwing her stuff onto the counter in front of me while I was trying to pay for my stuff, for my 1 item. She was... And I didn't argue with her anymore, because I would have been smacked. She really was a big scary woman, to say the least. So this is it. It was boundaries again, straight after the day after the other, boundary test. I knew it was a test, but I stood my ground. I didn't apologize to her. I didn't, beg her forgiveness because I happened to get in front of her in the queue or anything like that. I had every right to be first in the queue, regardless of what she thought, and I stood my ground and I stood in my power. Now, little things like this, as soon as that had happened, I knew it was, oh my God, I need to learn my boundaries. This is what the tests are, and the universe will bring you these tests. They will bring you little things. This is why we're in separation. These are things that we still need to work on, things that we still need to do. So that's the reason for this video, is say, do not go into fear. Do not go into the mode of, oh my God, it's still not happened yet, I'm going to give up, I'm going to walk off. Because the next thing you'll do, you will be stepping back into old ways, you will step back into old addictions, you will completely give up and walk away. That's not. This is your test. This is your test to stand in your own power, to stand in your own belief system, to know that you are a Blu-ray twin flame and you will be coming back into union, but there are things that you still need to heal, and the universe is now going to test you while you're in separation, and they will be testing your twin as well. Don't ever get into a place of ego where we think that we're the only ones that are doing all the work and they're not awake, because they're doing work as well. They're working on themselves. They may not consciously understand it the way we do, but they're still doing the work. They're still going to be tested by the universe. They still have things to work through. My twin flame, we went into separation 3 days after one of his friends died. So he's got a lot of stuff that he needs to work through as well. So you continue to hold space in your heart for them. You continue to love them unconditionally. Forgive them for things that have happened in the past. You continue to step out of fear and start to concentrate on your own stuff, your own spiritual journey. That's what you concentrate on now. That's what you focus on. You need to get things ready for when they do come back. Okay? And that is what you need to concentrate on now, not on what they're doing, what they're saying, because none of it matters in 3D. All we need to know is that they're working on themselves, we're working on ourselves. That's why we've just gone back into separation. We're not ready to step together yet. Our energies are not in vibrational alignment, and we don't have to be 100% perfect. We're never going to be, but there is a certain path that we need to follow, and for some of us we're at that point, and that's what's happening. So namaste, take care, everything's fine. If you need a healing and clearing, if you need to go through that, drop me a line. I can get you booked in for that, and relationship readings, etc., all the rest of it. I'm quite lucky in the fact that I can pull my own cards, I can do my own readings. Sometimes I will superimpose my own thoughts onto that, but most of the time I have a pretty good idea of where things are going. But I know that the energies are, at the moment, are like this. There's a lot going into separation, there's a lot coming into union, there's a lot that have been in union and are now coming into separation again, and it's that final push. We really need to sort our shit out, basically. Excuse the language, but that's what it is. That's what we need to do. We need to, whether it's child issues we need to clear, whether it's boundaries like it is with me, whatever it is, we need to sort of work on it. So that's where we are at the moment for some of us. So, but it's stepping out of fear. You know, divine intervention has come in, and that's how it is. And be thankful. Always be thankful for the lessons that you are learning, the lessons that are brought to us. The tests, they may not feel very comfortable at the time. Mine didn't. But I think I passed them. I certainly realised why they've come up. Hopefully they're not going to come up again. I had it 2 days in a row. I say the second one was so orchestrated. It was like she was an actress playing a part. I've never seen anybody act like that before. It was crazy. So everything is good. Okay? Everything is good. Just step into your own thing. Start working on yourself. Just have faith and trust. They're there, and they will return, and you will be guided on what you need to do. Ask what your next step is. Ask what you need to heal. They will show you. Okay? So I will speak to you soon. I'm going to go and find my doggy who's run off. And I love you loads. Okay?